Hello, my people. Welcome to the special students panel discussion titled "Understanding Gender-Based Violence, Breaking the Silence." That's our theme. Gender-based violence has affected millions of people worldwide, including the young people in the society. Today, our main goal is to create to foster dialogue, create space, safe spaces in the environment. Today, I will be your moderator. My name is Caleb Munene. Let us begin by meeting our panelists for the discussion.
Okay, I'm called Jeff DJ, and I'm happy to be part of this podcast.
And call me Lizzie B. It's a pleasure to be here.
And I'm Edwin Pluto. Let's break these things down.
Welcome once again. We will start by our panelist number one by asking him what is gender-based violence and how does this gender-based violence affect the young people in the society?
Okay, when we talk about gender-based violence, I think it should run across both men and women. But gender-based violence comes with a lot of discrimination and like you discriminate them, you stop them from achieving their goals, and also just by violating their rights, you understand. It can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be mental. All those are like to be GBV, you understand. So for example, when you start fighting with like the two gender-based violence, you are denying them opportunity of accessing their right, that is also GBV.
Okay, pardon me, let me ask you a question. Hapo umesema kwa kupiga mtu. Is only the gender-based violence, can it occur to men? Or when you say like that, it occurs to women only?
To men, I think it occurs in this way when men are being through manipulation.
Yeah.
Because men are physically strong. I don't think to be realistic, it's very hard to find a woman beating a man physically. But there's always this kind of manipulation. You understand? So manipulation is also part of GBV. For example, when you say that as a man you should not do this and this, that's manipulation. As a man you should not do this and this. Like for example, that is GBV, you understand? So for men I think it works through manipulation. That's how gender-based violence works to men.
Okay, thank you. Our panelist number two. What are some of the key drivers? What are the causes and the risk factors of gender-based violence in the society that you have encountered?
Okay.
Yeah.
Me personally, I haven't encountered GBV, but I do have friends who have encountered it. And one of it is you find chaos in the relationship.
Yeah.
Whereby certain gender is violated. You've said that men aren't, okay, in most cases we don't hear men being bigger.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, we don't hear it, but
Still they cry out.
yes, especially I don't want to be nasikianga watu wa mlima. Yes, most ladies who go they beat up the men.
Yeah, I'm from there.
Yes, I
I'm in
don't.
a Russian.
Yeah, especially to the vast regions of Nyeri, but I come from Meru, it's called Makutano Meru, but I have never, in Meru there is male dominance, but in Nyeri there is female dominance.
Yeah, you want bigger too physical.
Let me tell you one thing, Jeff.
Yes.
The panel, listen to one.
Yeah.
Men.
Yeah.
And the reason is because we don't get to hear them all. Now we can say from the statistics,
Yeah.
men are not being beaten. It's because these things happen, but men don't talk.
Yes.
Mm.
They don't-
Today I have a wife, she beats me, but I can't come and tell my friend like it's if I will be beaten by my wife.
And that's the manipulation that I was talking about.
I can't come and tell people openly that I've been beaten because of the stereotypes that men, like, they will judge me first.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my friend will judge me.
You're not
How
strong.
comes? How you are not strong? like unapigwa aje na so men we don't talk.
Yeah.
These things happen, but the reason as why the one for women inasikika sana because of they talk. Women hata kupunguza kidogo
Yeah.
That's
tell
it.
everyone that
Okay, my panelist, the question was for panelists, but you can contribute. Who can, I want one of you to elaborate about cultural norms, maybe in the legal perspective, maybe even peer pressure, maybe even in the psychological, even silence, psychological silence. I want, maybe one can elaborate one to help our panelists to expound how GBV is affected in these areas, maybe in peer pressure, cultural norms, legal perspective, or even psychological silence. One of the
how these things affect GBV or
how GBV affects this. Okay, how GBV it is portrayed in these things. Like for example,
Okay, I understand.
let me elaborate in the legal perspective. I have seen cases whereby, especially in Milimani law courts, whereby when a girl, let's say, throws a man, that is gender-based violence, throws a man from a floor, that girl will be released on a bail. But when a man throws a girl on the floor, he will be accused of murder. To add more on that, he will be jailed for more years. These are things we have seen in our country. That is an example of legal perspective. There is so much gender-based violence portrayed there because there is no they have empowered girls so much. What about the male child? Why is the male child being jailed but the girl child being released on a bond? Okay, that's one also for my example. You can elaborate on cultural norms.
To start on that, there's a clip video yenye niliwatch mtandao pale. There's this guy alikuwa anapigwa na mamake, alikuwa amelewa, unaona, na alikuwa anapigwa vibaya tena sana, ilikuwa recorded. Na nilipitia pale comment section, watu walikuwa wanasema ati for you kuona mama anapiga mtoto wake hiyo, like anaumia hapo ndani, like this mom is going through a lot of pain, you understand? But now I took it vice versa. If now it was the father when alikuwa anapiga huyu game, you know, it could be a different thing. So that's why I want to bring it out this way. When we talk about GBV, I know there are cultural norms. Like when we talk about it, there are some roles that some people are supposed to do that others were not supposed to do. You understand? So, for example, women were not supposed to vote. You understand? They're being denied that access to vote and to raise up issues. You understand? Because they were portrayed as, you know, what are they saying? You understand? No, that's discrimination and that's GBV. I agree with that. That shouldn't happen. You understand? But when it comes to violence, men are being affected the most because it is always portrayed that men are physically strong, you understand, and women are weak. So it's like when unapiga mtoto mdogo, nini bana wewe, you understand? That's the same thing that's happening here. When unapiga mwanamke. Just the same thing I saw with the case of Mike Sonko and the daughter. Nilikuwa naona Sonko alikuwa anauliza yule kijana, unampiga yuko na kifua kubwa, you have muscles. Why mbona unampiga, you understand? And now when the vice versa happens, you will see that now for her, muone anafanya hivi, this maybe ana go through a lot. So let us don't focus on one point, because both of us are being affected. So to violence, I think men are also being affected a lot, because kama mwanaume amepigwa na mwanamke, they're saying that now huyu mwanamke alikuwa ana go through a lot. That's the reason as to why amepiga huyu mwanaume. Mwanaume akipiga huyu mwanamke, anaonekana huyu jamaa is toxic, is being violent, you know. So now that's the problem. But now we should tackle both sides as far as even the cultural norms are concerned, you understand? Yeah, that's how I can
I feel like these things should be also reflected and being part of our justice systems. Because when you see our constitution, it is true, it provides that equality at some point. That it treats all of us equal. But when it comes actualization of it in our courts. When these issues arise, or it has happened, maybe a woman has beaten a man, and a man has beaten a woman. When these two things are being presented in our justice systems, they are not treated the same, according as how the Constitution provides at some point. So I think these things has been taken back from cultural perspectives, because when we see our strict stereotypes that have been existing for years, that back then in the village and according to our culture, that a man cannot beat with a woman, a man cannot cry. So there is a lot of limitation by you are portrayed as weak as a man when you do these things, but people forget that we are also humans. Men also have those we feel
Emotions.
Yeah,
So
emotions.
I do have a question regarding this definition.
So when you come and tell us that when you tell now men that they're not supposed to cry, they're not supposed to maybe to be women, of which it is okay, they're not supposed to be women. But our justice system should work in that be equal. When these two cases are being presented in our justice system, then it will be treated equal. The sentence that I will be given as a man and the sentence that will be given to that should be equal.
I do have a question regarding the same. Talking about justice in courts, about the GDP. Why does the court need releases that when a woman is beaten by the man, it is different? I think there is a reason behind it.
I think, what is happening is that what is always written on paper is not what is happening or what they practice. You want to understand? So the actualization is different. For example, they say that men and women are equal. You understand? That is written on paper. But when they come out, they don't practice that. For example, when we are equal, the same way I'll be treated when I violate you should be the same way you will be treated when you violate me. But you see, this is very different. You understand? It's written on paper, but now they don't practice it. You understand? So it's like they are one-sided, and that's what is happening overall. And that's why I see even Trump is fighting over it. They are saying that, for example, we are 4 of us here right now. So actually, there's a job that is needed somewhere. You understand? And the 3 of us, men, we are qualified. We are qualified for that job. You understand? And whoever we are qualified, you know what they will say? They will pick 2 men and the lady. They will say that acha tuchukue huyu msichana tumuingize hapo ndani. So that is equity. That is not equality. You understand? So kama government or people, the society are saying that people should be equal. Kama sisi watatu tumekuwa qualified, tunafaa kufanya hiyo job. Lakini hii ngoma ya kufanya juu sasa tuko na wanaume wawili, acha tuchukue huyu mwanamke. You know, that's also gender-based violence, though they don't see it out.
I think it applies on, see, huko kitambo, most ladies, they were not showing up for leadership positions. So, I think they are doing it so that they can portray that even women are capable of doing it.
Okay, about that, let me tell you how this came up. There's this slogan about what a man can do, a man can do better. Understand? First ilianza hivi, actually ilianza in this 20th century, the 1930s hapa. Walikama wakasema what a man can do, a woman can try. We think that a man can do better, a woman can try. Understand? You can diagnose as what a man can do, a woman can do better. The reason as why this was coming up is that they wanted to give women an opportunity to try these things, and it was actually being enforced by men. You understand? All these things, all this empowerment, all these rights that women right now are accessing, they were brought out by men. They were the one who were enforcing them in the courts, in the law courts, and all that kind of stuff. You understand? But now the problem is that when these things may come out, you know, for example, for you to be a leader, there are qualifications that should be given. It's not all about that. Let him try. Like, see it to tukupe nafasi ya kujaribu. You should be there. When you are qualified, you are qualified. But now that's the problem. Most of the time, they give the other gender an opportunity to try, to give it a try. But the other one is qualified, you understand? So now that's the problem, and that's also, I just see that is GBV. Why discriminating others? Mbona nisipe huyu jamaa nafasi, acha tukupe huyu jamaa a try. Why are you giving this person a try and this person is qualified, you understand? So I think that's why we are missing it out.
Yeah, I think my balance number one, I think, okay, female empowerment is good. Female empowerment, as for me, it is the female empowerment that I'm enjoying today.
Okay.
I congratulate that there is one woman who empowered, who supported from your region called Phoebe Asio. She died at 22, I think 3 months ago. Phoebe Asio, she's the one who motivated women, and women have been doing tremendous things in the society. Personally, as for me, I am so proud of my mother, because my mother is a woman, but she has done things that I have seen the capability in women. I have seen she has even from grassroots done in her own business, and also maybe lead a foundation with the household, maybe amejipanga life. So I congratulate female empowerment, but at the same time, the Englishmen say that too much of everything is poisonous. So this female empowerment has made, I'm not saying not all women, I'm saying let's say 75% of women, they have taken advantage of it, and they have been doing bad things to the boy child, until the boy child is so depressed to a point that wengine unapata wanakaa kwa nyumba, wengine unapata kufifa, yani unapata ni kijana hadi kwa hoteli anaenda anakaa peke yake tu ametulia. Even let's say for those who go clubbing, amekaa peke yake tu, hataki maneno mingi, like hataki. That is because of this female empowerment. They are doing, wanawafanyia mambo mbaya. So I fully support you as we support female empowerment. Let us also empower a man. When you empower a man, you have empowered a community. You have empowered the 3 families. That is a fact. Yeah, I'm not supporting. Even I'm supporting boy child, girl child. But also at the same time, let us not forget the boy child. To a panelist number 3.
On my point first, no. That I see, like, according to me, this is just our justice is in some point they contribute to this because when you see, for example, let me talk about the side of men. When men are being the victim, a lady can do anything to a man, knowing that when we are taken to our justice system, the system will favor me, will not favor the man. So she will be like, hata nikikufanyia hii naweza nikafika tu kwa na niseme ni wewe ndio umenifanyia, and our justice system according to how they favor the girl. So even if a girl comes there and say I'm the victim here, and answer for that emotional to take that side. So hata kidogo kwa nyumbani she will be like, maybe at the end of the day, hata nikikufanyia nikupiga manini, bado the law will favor me. On that point of women empowerment, for me I support it actually, because imesaidia most of the ladies. Ukiangalia pale nyuma, the ladies wako wanajua their rights. So unapata they were supposed to, yani you obey everything that the man says, to be everything in mwanaume anasema, they were supposed to. They were not supposed to, yani kwenda against in any way. So unapata hapo, because all the power given to the men, so a man can do anything. Once nimeshakuoa, in fact that is the notion of that is now in cultural perspective, that wakati nimeshakuoa, you are my property now, I can do to you anything that I want. Na hiyo ndio imekuwa notion kitambo.
I think that's the reason why the court is favoring the female.
Sasa hapo nyuma, that is how it was, that I'm now entitled to, naweza nikakupiga, naweza nikakufanyia anything, because now nimekuoa. Na hata ukiangalia huko nyuma, hata kama auma na kipigwa, hata akirudi pale nyumbani, bado wazazi wanaambia kana that huyo ni mzee wako, huyo ameshalipa price yako, so wewe rudi tu na try to survive. But now with the women empowerment, you can see now So she knows that even though we have been married to you, there's this 1, 2, and 3 things that you cannot do to me and I cannot do to you as well.
Yeah.
But even when that's the main reason as to why I support women empowerment, because you find out that the time they are being abused. Yeah, a lot. Understand, they are being abused, but right now they have been shown, like on one nation, kicking it should be this and this and this way. So I think that somehow helps a lot. But as long as this women empowerment is out right now, it should come up with a lot of wisdom, because when there's no wisdom in it, you guys are going to lose it a lot. I'm telling you the truth. You guys are going to lose it a lot. And once we start losing it a lot.
Even, may I interrupt you? We have started losing.
Yeah, we are.
Why?
In this way.
Okay.
In this way, first of all, when you talk about it, we always narrow it, you understand? But even stereotypes and discrimination comes in with the GBV. So before I take you down to how we are going to do it, let me bring it out this way about GBV, how we guys somehow we don't look it out in a wider perspective. For example, let me say kama kitu imepotea, si ndio? Maybe mwizi. For example, nikitaja tu mwizi aliiba pale fulani, what comes to your mind first in si zamani. That's the first thing inakama kwako. Like tukisema ati yule mtu aliuliwa na nini, yule nani aliuliwa na wezi, ama yule nani aliuliwa na mtu mwingine, nini inakama first kwa akili yako? Amani ndio inakama kwa akili yako. That's a stereotype, and that's also is GBV in a wider perspective. Like sisi tukisema GBV, we narrow ourselves down. Tunasema ati ni wanawake ndio wanakuwa affected a lot. But then again, tukiangalia on the other side, men are also being affected. So how we are going to be affected, you understand? So with this not that empowerment is bad, but how we are going to be affected when there is no wisdom in it is that someone who is wise, who wants something to be in a better way, this person does not only lie on one side, you understand? But now at this point, they have another person moja sana. Wamesahau, wamesema ati mwanaume kwa hiyo kile wakati mwanaume anaweza fanya vitu kivya, anaweza fanya vitu kivyake, anaweza enda vitu kivyake. And then again on the other side, hata kama mwanaume anaumia, hafai kusema kitu yoyote, anaweza solve vitu peke yake, you understand? But for women are being given that opportunity to express and to enjoy the food. For example, let me say that, let me give an example. If there is a party, we were supposed to go and enjoy a party, maybe kuna sherehe fulani. And they say that for women, so long as we manage to go on a fair, we manage to get ndani, it's okay, you understand? And they say that for a man, lazima ulipie ndio uingie, you understand? That mwanaume unaingia kwa aje bila kulipia, you understand? So you see at this point, mwanamke amekuwa your priority.
But I've never
I'm just giving an example. That's what is happening right now. Like that's what an example I'm trying to give out. When they say that a man, you can fight for what you want on your own way, but for a woman, they can help you to get. You can be. Wanaweza kusaidia kupata kile unataka, but for a man, you can find a way out to access it. You understand? So that's in one area side moja.
Even like in our politics.
Yeah.
So like there is this platform that I created, a position that I created only for women, like women. Only for women.
Only for women
but
alone.
When we come to contest, these other ones, men no man. So
actually, this happens because
even in politics, if you know what these people are contradicting themselves. The other side they say that people are equal. You understand? When accessing these opportunities, and on the other side, now people are not equal. Some position like the women, they have given extra seats. For men. I understand they have given out those seats because women were not in politics. They can't access those positions, so they are being given those seats so that at least how we are going for politics.
This happened because of this. Let me try it. Hapo zamani ukiangalia kwa parliament, it was occupied by almost all of them were men. So they have tried to create this position so that women can contribute into that, so that to bring the equalness. You get it? Yes.
I think that is not equality.
Things have changed.
You know, they bring it out saying that is equality, but I don't think that is equality because
Imagine Parliament having occupied by only men.
that's why I'm saying that. I get your point.
Uh-huh.
I get your point, but it's not equality the way they're putting it out. Because if we are equal, it means that everything that I can access on my own, weapon has access on your own. Senior, why are you being given and mimi na ambiwa tena nipiganie? You understand?
You see,
Yeah, you know, why are you being given if you are equal?
No,
when you sit kulingana mimi, if we take it on the perspective ya parliament na kitabu, because when you see according to the stereotypes, parliament, a woman was not allowed to lead. Only the men were considered the leader and the head of the
Yeah.
So that opportunity, if it were created at that time for women to also be in positions, it is allowed. But today, nowadays, for this 22nd century, things have changed. Now women can vie. Now women can lead. Even in our churches and everything, you see, women are being given that platform. So as for now, I don't see the importance again for that thing again.
They're not being given right now. So it's not. They're not given.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, thank you, my panelists, for analyzing. To my panelists 3, what are the you have already elaborated in a wide view, but what are in brief? What are the support systems? What are the reporting systems that we may use to channel out GBV and to eradicate GBV? Kindly, in brief, but you have already elaborated. For example, the judicial, the legal system. What are the other?
One of which obviously is our justice systems, the way I've talked about it, because already the Constitution provides a platform for us for that equality, but now the leaders and those people, the judges who are being put in that position, I think they have to, I don't know how to say it, but they should at this time being taught how to be equal and practice that equality. When these cases are being presented to them, they should handle it just making sure that it is equal. That is in our justice system, and even our religious leaders to talk about these things. And also men being given opportunity to channel out their issues and their grievances openly without being judged. And even us, as our peers, like the peers, for example, like the youths, or even fellow men, let's be that welcoming or listen, give tupe wenzetu that platform ya wao kukuja air out their grievances. Let's not judge. Tusiwajudge, because for example Jeff kakuja nipenda kuchina hii, let's not judge. Tuko hapa to give solution, not to judge.
Yeah, thank you. In as we close our closing remarks, I want each one of you panelists to maybe say one or two things, but don't exceed. How can students help to combat GBV, or not even students? How can even people in the society out there, or even students in the society out there, even worldwide, help to combat GBV? Let us start with our panelist one. We close.
Okay, I think by practicing what they portray or what they advocate for, I think that's the only way we should fight GBV.
Yeah, what about you?
As to me, according to me, I'm saying that we should communicate out, we should air our thoughts out, we should not judge, we should listen to each other, because if you listen to this side of the female, they are going through their own stuff. If you listen to the male part, they are also going through their situation. Kuna venye tu wanapeleka, so we should understand each other
tuache kitu kweli kitu wanafunzi watakuwa wadogo tu, hivi tu rights zikuwe pia zinafunzwa, ziongezwe kwa masomo, wakati every other subjects are being taught. Maybe this come like life skills, like kila mtu ambaye like the women being taught that this is your right, this is your right, and you should don't do this, don't do this. So pia ikuwe inafunzwa pia kwa churches. Again, our justice systems, let it practice to be equal and treat these cases equally both for men and for women. I think that by doing that, we can this issue equal for men and women.
Thank you, my panelists, for producing valuable insights to the audience and the community, and even to the people watching us there. Remember, gender-based violence, it is preventable, and help is always available. Let us provide a safer community. Let us pick up everyone so that we can help combat GBV. This has been your Breaking the Silence panel discussion. See you next time.